Kenji started watching Eiko. He observed her every move, listened to every conversation, and tracked every call. It wasn't because he didn't trust her, it was because he couldn't afford to. The agency had planted a seed of suspicion in his mind, and doubt, once it takes root, grows like a relentless poison. He started following her after work, sticking to the shadows, becoming one with the cityscape. One evening, she met a man near the train station, an old friend, perhaps a colleague. Kenji raised his surveillance lens, zooming in. The man slipped her a plain, thick envelope. Kenji's heart sank, a cold weight dropping into the pit of his stomach. The evidence felt damning. That night, she came home with a radiant smile, completely unaware of the turmoil inside him. "Kenji, you've been working way too much," she said, her voice full of genuine care. "I made you dinner." He couldn't meet her eyes. The warmth in her voice, meant to soothe him, instead felt like a sharp blade, cutting deeper than any physical weapon could. He felt like a fraud, sitting across from this wonderful woman he was actively betraying with his suspicion. He felt like a common thief, a monster, inside. He found the envelope. His breath hitched. This was it, the proof. But as he tore it open, it wasn't classified data that fell out, nor was it stacks of money. It was photos. Dozens of photos of smiling children from an orphanage she had been secretly sponsoring for years. The guilt hit him like a physical blow, crushing the air from his lungs. He slumped against the wall, the photos scattered around him. In that moment, he realized the truth. He was the traitor. Not to the agency, but to her. He had betrayed her trust, her love, her pure heart. The next morning, the weight of his actions was unbearable. He had to end it, to set her free from the complicated, dangerous world he inhabited. "Eiko," he began, his voice strained. "Maybe you deserve someone simpler. My life, it's just too complicated." She simply took his hand, her grip firm and reassuring. "Kenji, everyone's life is complicated," she said softly, her eyes searching his. "That's what makes us human. We figure it out together." Her simple, profound faith in them was another stab to his guilty conscience. But before he could find the words to explain the real reason, to confess his sins, his phone vibrated against his chest. A single, coded buzz, a mission call, a high-value target, one they had been hunting for months, had resurfaced. He had to go, now. He leaned in and kissed her forehead, a desperate, fleeting gesture. "I'll be home soon," he promised, a lie that tasted like ash in his mouth. But Eiko wasn't blind anymore. She had seen the flicker of something dark, a shadow behind his eyes that had been growing for weeks. She knew he was hiding more than just a complicated life. This time, she didn't let him just walk away. This time, she followed him. She watched from a distance as he vanished into a desolate alleyway. Her heart pounded in her chest. Moments later, a figure emerged from the other end, her breath caught in her throat. It was Kenji, but not her Kenji. He was dressed in a black, sleek tactical suit. Moving with a predator's grace and purpose, she covered her mouth to stifle a gasp as she watched him disappear into a waiting and marked government convoy. The world tilted on its axis. Her heart didn't just break, it shattered into a million pieces. The man she loved, the gentle soul who brought her flowers and worried about her working too late, was a killer. Government weapon. Kenji, oblivious to her discovery, was already focused on the mission, but something went wrong. It was a setup, an ambush. The night exploded in a hail of gunfire. Chaos erupted. He was hit, the pain sharp and searing. He limped back to their apartment hours later, bleeding, exhausted, and defeated. He pushed the door open to find the apartment cloaked in darkness. And in the center of the room, a silhouette. Eiko was waiting for him, her eyes red and swollen from tears. "Who are you?" she whispered, her voice trembling, fragile as glass. He stood frozen in the doorway, the silence stretching between them, louder and more deafening than the storm of bullets he had just survived. He finally found his voice, a ragged, broken sound. "I'm the man who wanted to protect you from my world," he said. "But I failed." She crossed the room in 3 quick strides and slapped him. The sound echoed in the quiet apartment. It wasn't a slap of anger, but of pure, undiluted heartbreak. "Do you even know who you are anymore?" she cried, tears streaming down her face. And as he looked at the woman he loved, seeing himself reflected in her devastated eyes, he realized he didn't have an answer. He didn't know. Not anymore. Thank you so much for watching. This story really makes you think about trust and the secrets we keep. If you enjoyed this emotional journey, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next story. See you in the next one.